the sum of all my parts, a domestic beast with a hairy heart, trapped within a walled suburbia. I found my taste is somewhat underground, between the shadows and the cracks. I am building my utopia. I need to break free from all that binds, that makes me old before my time, in this world of dystopia. My love is like a bright guiding light, shining in the darkness of the night, the star of my utopia. In the motion of the sea, in the air that we breathe, can you feel me? In the stars and in the trees, in the song of the bees, can you hear me? Caged golden memories, time has come to show your true feelings. I know it's the only way to be when the same old feelings come over me. I feel greater than the sum of all my parts, a space jockey from a distant star, marooned upon dystopia. I found my taste is somewhat underground, between the shadows and the cracks. I am building my utopia. In the motion of the sea, in the air that we breathe, can you feel me? In the stars and in the trees, in the song of the bees, can you hear me?
to The Coven by Blood Ceremony on Widdershins Radio for your spiritual side. A twisted, oh so twisted approach to the left-hand path. I'm Michael or Birch, and the Joker to the right of me is...
Marta?
Yes!
I don't have a special radio name for myself yet, so, I didn't know what to say. It caught me off guard a little bit.
Well, I didn't really have a special radio name for here. I just Michael or Birch. I got so many names.
I have a couple that I don't really use anymore.
Well, it's a pain in the ass, so, count your blessings.
Okay. Done.
So Marta's doing other things over here, but she's here to chime in whenever she feels the need.
I'm geeking out and doing other things, but I've got one ear on what's going on with the radio, so I will be chiming in from time to time.
Yes, we're at the end of January, 2019. Yes. And the rest of the country is getting ready for what do they call it? Arctic vortex?
No, it's like the polar vortex, maybe. Yeah, it's not Arctic. It's definitely polar.
Arctic polar vortex. Maybe all those.
Yeah.
Looks crazy.
And so our president is wants a quote. I don't even know. He tweeted that he misses global warming because it's so cold in the Midwest right now that who couldn't use a little global warming? He doesn't understand that it's the same fucking thing. So.
Yeah, that's where we're at, in the throes of idiocracy. Yeah. There was another thing I was going to say on that, but that's enough. We're thinking it might be next week or the week after that, but the when Trump gets his State of the Union thing, it's going to be during showtime. I forgot, it was February on a Tuesday. That's all I heard. I forget which Tuesday, but I don't think they've solidified the date yet.
They do all the presidential things on a Tuesday. They must know that Widdershins is on Tuesdays, so we can report live.
Exactly. So we're going to have to do one of those things where we, play it in the background and rebut it live on Widdershins. That was fun last time. What was that? Well, that wasn't the State of the Union. It was...
That was that thing where he said something, and then Pelosi and Schumer had that rebuttal. Remember, he was making his case for the wall.
Yeah, but that wasn't a State of the Union. It wasn't just a
national address or something.
National address. Wow. Won't that be fun? But yeah, so the rest of the I was looking at the map. The rest of the country is going to be in the purple range, which I don't know when I've seen. Oh no, too soon. I don't know when I've seen that on a thermal map. There's this huge purple thwatch coming right down the middle of the country, except here, a little bit of Arizona, I think.
We're pretty much not really bothered by it. I'm bothered by the fact that the rest of the country is bothered by it, but we don't have anything particularly concerning over here right now.
So we got some rain coming, which fucks this town up because nobody can deal with weather over here. The earthquakes totally deal with those, but nobody can deal with the weather. So I don't know, but I think it'll pale in comparison. So hope you all are staying warm. We get way more hits on Friday, Saturday night, through the weekend than the live show. So hopefully you're not in the throes of it right now, but hopefully you're all staying warm and doing well. And we'll be out here under the palm trees, sending our thoughts and prayers. No, I'm just kidding. So last week, I think it was going to be part of the show, but the rant was just so good. It became the bulk of the show. A Facebook Live video that Coviak did. on her Facebook, and I asked her if I could use it on the show, and she said it was public, and so I did. It became the bulk of the show, and it was so much fun. We just had to have her on the show, to rant live. Live's got to be better. Usually guests like call in, and it makes that annoying ringing thing. So this time, I'm going to call her, and hopefully there won't be that annoying ringing thing. I don't know. This is the first time we've done this. But Wittershins, we're going to try and have Kenya Coviak from, I believe it's Detroit, where I'm sure it's going to be fucking butt cold, live to rant about whatever. And we got it ringing. How do I see it now? Oh my goodness. Oh, free on Sky. Oh, it's not even doing it yet. There we go. All right, it does make some annoying noises, but not the same annoying noises. Well, hello. It sounded like you answered. Oh dear. Well, I don't want to put that on yet. Let's see what the Skype screen. Kenya isn't online. Well, where the heck are you? You knew I was going to call. Now get over there. Let's see. Double click. Hit the little picture of the telephone. Call on Skype. There, that's her face on the top of her head on the screen. All right. Well, wow. Now that sounded like that same sound. Well, I don't know. Maybe we're not going to have Kenya yet. We're going to have to figure something out. This was the one. Let's see. Yeah, there's our text messages back and forth and our waving. So I'm on the right channel. Time zone shit. That fucks people up. Hopefully the internet hasn't frozen over there yet from the Arctic vortex of death or whatever the hell it is. But we're going to try and do the Kenya thing again, and then we'll just have to go on until I have many methods of communication, and I will hear from Kenya on one of them. All right, you are tuned to Wittershins, where we are working on having our special guest on. And I'm going to click over here on Skype and see what it's telling me. Kenya isn't online. Well, hopefully Kenya is going to get online and see that Kenya had several missed calls there. And then we'll, I guess maybe we'll play you something. And I'll ping her on Facebook or something like that. Let's see. Well, let's see. We got a whole different, when we have guests on the radio, I'm on this laptop, and the other times I'll be on a phone or a different portable system, and different song choices. I haven't heard this one in quite a while. Wittershins, we'll be back.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. I leaned back on my radio. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, not a soul he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let
Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in fights. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Definitely gotta miss Bowie on Widdershins Radio, where the show must go on. We'll keep trying Kenya during the musical breaks, but I have a bunch of news stories sitting around that hadn't gotten to from back when we didn't know if Christian Day was going to be on the show till like last 10 minutes or something like that before the show. But this one, of course, I had to find fascinating because I always wondered about this stuff. It's an older story, but I didn't know about it, and I don't think you knew about it either. I would have seen it somewhere. I don't think anybody knew about this from October 30th, 2018. Russian neo-pagans move their faith from the fringes. From the Washington Post? Really? Well, all right, the failing Washington Post. For centuries, Russia's pagans practiced their faith on the fringes. But lately, the community of Rodnovers, or neo-pagans, is growing and finding a home in the country's biggest cities. Russia's first pagans were largely wiped out by the Russian Christian Church 1,000 years ago, but a modern iteration of the movement was reborn during the collapse of the Soviet Union. The collapse of the communist system in Eastern Europe enabled a few small pagan movements in the region to surface in the public sphere. Political scientist Karina Atamuroto wrote in the Journal of International Relations. At the beginning of the 1900s, they gained momentum in virtually all ex-socialist countries. Followers say their polytheistic faith honors Russian Slavic roots and allows them to maintain a distinct national identity. Today there are thousands of self-described Rodnovers in Siberia, Volga, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. The group defines its faith loosely, pulling traditions and beliefs from ancient Slavic tribes. Though customs vary from place to place, many Rodnovers celebrate the solar holidays that mark the change of the season by dressing in costume and performing short plays. At some ceremonies, there are sacrifices, dances, and communal meals. Rodnovers often worship in Slavic-style temples that feature images of the gods. Oh, don't tell me that's the end. I was fascinated by this. Wait, they have pictures that aren't showing up. God, hopefully, that's the end of the story. Wow, that was fascinating. I had no idea, and I always. Not just the clown to the right of me is Russian, but whenever I find new information about a paganism that nobody knew about, or that had been seemingly wiped out, which is pretty common with most paganisms around the world. They're mostly wiped out, and somebody's able to dig up some remnants here and there. But the remnants always fascinate me. The bones in the dirt fascinate me. The similarities. Celebrating the solar holidays. They do little plays. I cannot count the times different magical groups, from the OTO to big open Wiccan groups and fairy groups. It's like that's ritual. There's a little play. Do a little play. They always called me to be the Dark Lord in their little plays, and I did well.
Be a total airy guy, skipping around with a feather boa.
That was a rare occasion. That was the one time they didn't call me to be Death or the Dark Lord or something like that. You were there for that?
Yeah.
I might have to kill you after all.
Your ex.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there actually is a photo that survived. Somebody had it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I had it. I don't have it anymore. It says, lost forever.
It's up here in my head, though. I'm going to find a way to code that onto paper.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right. You work on that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that.
You'll get to see my thoughts in print.
I think I was wearing yellow.
Yeah, yellow.
Something
gold.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Black, gray, maybe whites. Yeah, you ain't gonna find me in yellow too often. Okay, so that was one time. But at any rate, that even was for a play. I was playing the part of the Earth Elemental. So I had air. I'm sorry. Yeah, shit. Can't believe I said that. I was thinking air. The Air Elemental. So I had to be, I had to have glitter. That was. I had glitter. Date that. Yeah. She's saying, Oh dear. But just that's ritual. These little plays, throughout time. Some more elaborate than others, but we're somehow entertaining our gods. They don't have TV, apparently, our gods, so they need to be entertained. So we perform these little plays, and sometimes, like they said there's some sacrifice, and that means different things to different people, different sacrifices, different strokes for different folks. The world doesn't march to just the beat of just one drum. Might be right for you, may not be right for some. It takes different strokes. Different strokes to rule the world. We're gonna play another song, and if I don't get Kenya on, well, I'm gonna dig up some more stories that I wasn't planning on reading right now. But we'll try again. Trying to have our guest on, Kenya Coviak, before I have to edit the title of the show. I hate when that happens. I just shared it everywhere. Widdershins is happening live.
A new age of reason, brain treason to trick the mind. What good is searching if nothing's there to find? We arrive at this place of no return, my brothers, only to discover that our minds have led us away so far from the paper truth of who we are. come forth, bear witness. See the profit from your loss, beg for forgiveness. Only after you tally the cost. We arrive at this place of no return, my sisters. Only to discover that our values rise the ground on the show in the sea of what we could be. What's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure. Our promises become a lie, all that's been right corrupts in time. Of a purified If it's real for me, do I have to prove it to you? Why do revelations fade to cold blue untruths? It's all so relative, subservient in total one's perspective. Yeah. What's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure. Our promises become a lie, all that's been right corrupts in time. Of a purified always been me.
Of course, that's Bad Religion on Widdershins Radio, because there's so many songs that speak to our troubled times. I've tried to reach our guest. Somehow we had a failure to communicate somewhere. Thought we had it all set up, but apparently that didn't work out. Try it again. You know, we're on till it's like 5:34 Pacific Standard Time right now. We're on till 7. Yeah, I'm sure I can drivel. I can drivel, but you know that's not.
Watch your dribble.
That's not what it said in the the outline for the show. So then I got to go edit it. I hate that. But yeah, I'll keep trying. Yeah. Well, time zones fuck with people's heads. They fuck with my head too. But you know, if we just Google them, then we know. I'm on air. Are you really tapping my shoulder trying to tell me something, sir? Right now, while I'm talking to the microphone.
Make it quick.
You don't see the quiet on the set light on the ceiling there?
Make it quick.
What you need, sir? What? No. Oh my goodness! I can't believe I had to go through all that for that. But you're tuned to Widdershins Radio. You want to play on the Xbox? No. He's had plenty of Xbox during the teacher's strike. I figured it. Yeah.
He just got back from a 3-week vacation, went to school for a week, and then had like 6 days off.
Yeah. Because we don't cross no picket line. Nope. And he didn't either. But we went to the picket line, and I got to teach my son about the words solidarity and scabs. We learned 2 very important S words that day. And I taught him those right in front of his teacher, who happened to be the main person on the picket line right then, because everybody else was down at some rally down at City Hall or something like that. Any rate, we're reading some random news. I said, oh yes, this one I thought was fascinating. This came from livescience.com. Could consciousness all come down to the way things vibrate. And the reason right away that, I had to read such a story is because I was fascinated that they don't already know that. I think, for a witch, at least my kind of witch, I already thought we already knew that. Why is my awareness here while yours is over there? Why is the universe split in two for each of us, into a subject and an infinity of objects? How is each of us our own center of experience, receiving information about the rest of the world out there? Why are some things conscious and others apparently not? Is a rat conscious? A gnat? A bacterium?
Ebola is. That's a virus. Sorry.
Ebola is what?
A virus. So never mind.
Oh yeah, it's not a bacterium. All right. These questions are all aspects of the ancient mind-body problem, which asks essentially, what is the relationship between mind and matter? It's resisted a generally satisfying conclusion for thousands of years. And I'm scrolling. The mind-body problem enjoyed a major rebranding over the last 2 decades. Now it is generally known as the hard problem of consciousness, after philosopher David Chalmers coined the term in a now classic paper and further explored it in his 1996 book, The Conscious Mind in Search of a Fundamental Theory. Chalmers thought the mind-body problem could be solved, or could be called hard, in comparison to what, with the tongue-in-cheek, he called the easy problems of neuroscience. How do neurons in the brain work at the physical level? Of course, they're not actually easy at all, but his point was that they're relatively easy compared to the truly difficult problem of explaining how consciousness relates to matter. Over the last decade, my colleague, University of California, Santa Barbara, psychology professor Jonathan Schooler, and I have developed what we call a resonance theory of consciousness. Whoa, I'm loving this shit. We suggested that resonance, another word for synchronized vibrations, is at the heart of not only human consciousness, but also animal consciousness and of physical reality more generally. It sounds like something the hippies might have dreamed up. It's all vibrations, man, but stick with me. All about the vibrations. All things in our universe are constantly in motion, vibrating. Even objects that appear to be stationary are in fact vibrating, oscillating, resonating at various frequencies. Resonance is a type of motion characterized by oscillation between two states. And ultimately, all matter is just vibrations of various underlying fields. As such, at every scale, all of nature vibrates. Something interesting happens when different vibrating things come together. They will often start after a little while to vibrate together at the same frequency. They sync up, sometimes in ways that can seem mysterious. This is described as the phenomenon of spontaneous self-organization. Oh, good, I have a name for that thing now. Mathematician Stephen Storgatz provides various examples from physics, biology, chemistry, and neuroscience to illustrate sync, his term for resonance, in his 2003 book, Sync: How Order Emerges from Chaos in the Universe, Nature, and Daily Life, including when fireflies and certain species come together in large gatherings, they start flashing in sync in ways that can still seem a little mystifying. Lasers are produced when photons of the same power and frequency sync up. The moon's rotation is exactly synced with its orbit around the Earth, such that we always see the same face. Examining resonance leads to potentially deep insights about how the nature of consciousness and the universe more generally. sink inside your skull. Neuroscientists have identified sync in their research to large-scale neuron firing occurs in human brains at measurable frequencies, with mammalian consciousness thought to be commonly associated with various kinds of neuronal sync. I've never seen that word before. For example, German neurophysicist Pascal Fries has explored the ways in which various electrical patterns sync in the brain to produce different types of human consciousness. Fries focuses on gamma, beta, and theta waves. These labels refer to the speed of electrical oscillations in the brain, measured by electrodes placed on the outside of the skull. Groups of neurons produce these oscillations as they use electrochemical impulses to communicate with each other. It is the speed and voltage of these signals that, when averaged, produced EEG waves that can be measured at signature cycles per second.
Our son is sniffing the bowl of Jolly.
I see that. Gamma waves are associated with large-scale coordinated activities like perception, meditation, or focused consciousness. Beta with maximum brain activity and arousal, and theta with relaxation or daydreaming. These three wave types work together to produce or at least facilitate various types of human consciousness. According to Fries, but the exact relationship between electrical brain waves consciousness is still very much up for debate. Fries calls his concept communication through coherence. For him, it's all about neural synchronization. Synchronization in terms of shared electrical oscillation rates allows for smooth communication between neurons and groups of neurons. Without this kind of synchronized coherence, inputs arrive at random phases of neuron excitability cycle and are ineffective, or at least much less effective in communication. A resonance theory of consciousness. Our resonance theory builds upon the work of Fries and many others with broader approach that can help to explain not only human mammalian consciousness but also consciousness more broadly. Based on the observed behavior of the entities that surround us, from electrons to atoms to molecules to bacteria to mice, bats, rats, and so on, we suggest that all things may be viewed as at least a little conscious. This sounds strange at first blush to panpsychism. The view that all matter has some associated consciousness is an increasingly accepted position with respect to the nature of consciousness. The panpsychist argues that consciousness did not emerge at the same point or at some point during evolution. Rather, it was always associated with matter and vice versa. These two sides of the same coin, with a large majority of the mind associated with various types of matter in our universe, is extremely rudimentary. An electron or atom, for example, enjoys just a tiny amount of consciousness, but as matter becomes more interconnected and rich, so does the mind, and vice versa, according to this way of thinking. Biological organisms can quickly exchange information through various biophysical pathways, both electrical and electrochemical. Non-biological structures can only exchange information internally using heat thermal pathways, much slower and far less rich in information in comparison. Living things leverage their speedier information flows into larger scale consciousness than what would occur in similar sized things like boulders or piles of sand, for example. There's much greater internal connection and thus far more going on in biological structures than in a boulder or pile of sand. Under our approach, boulders and piles of sand are mere aggregates, just collections of highly rudimentary consciousness entities at the atomic molecular level. That in contrast to what happens to biological life forms, where the combination of these micro-consciousness entities together create a higher level of macro-conscious entity. For us, the combination process of the hallmark is of biological life. Oh my God, I'm fascinated by everything in that story, but it's just so damn long. But as I read it, I see, many of my own theories. I've done a whole lot of playing around with brainwave generators and brainwave generators in combination with reprogramming your own mind. I have a whole assortment of videos on that called Mind Control 101, 101 Part 2. I don't know how many I have, but the first one's Mind Control 101, and it's on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Freakphil1309. But when people ask me in this day and age, I tend to not want to be saying anything that is consensus thought. Even if I believe a thing that is consensus thought, you've already heard that from somebody else. Consensus thought is the common thing that most people in that realm say about that thing when they talk about it. So if I find myself having a consensus opinion about a common idea, and somebody asks me, I won't say that part because it's boring. Who wants to hear that shit repeated? I'm going to say the thing that I think that's totally out of left field, and you're going to remember who said that first, and who the first time you ever heard that crazy idea from. And a lot of those are going to be your Uncle Birch, and I like that better than saying the thing that you're already going to hear somebody else say. I want to say the thing that they're not going to say. Like when I've been asked about reincarnation, I have an entire theory that I haven't heard anywhere else of particle theory. Our atoms, our particles, the things that make up our physical structure, and perhaps our consciousness too, because of the vibration. Maybe the vibration of those atoms is our consciousness. I don't know. Everything's vibrating. The vibration is our consciousness. I understand that. But the things that make us up have been many other things. As such, I probably was Cleopatra. You probably were too. And you were probably a star and a meteor and a rock and a piece of dust and an animal and another animal and many people before that atom came to make you up or be part of your makeup. Let's see. All right, I was just seeing a message from Kenya about the phone got infected by Skype. Stuck in safe mode. Uh-oh. Well, maybe we'll have to figure out. Maybe we might have to go. Old school. Okay. Figure that out. But Kenya's there. Oh, wait, Kenya's now using a different phone. All right, maybe we're going to be able to do Skype. All right, I will. We'll take us a break in just a second here. But so I find those theories expressed in that article. It's good to see science catch up. A lot of that, the first part, is consciousness rooted in vibration. It's like, wow, is a witch, is a magician? That's not even a question. Really? That was a question? Okay. Well, we will be back. What do I want to say? Well, we'll be back after I figure out what I want to play. I didn't have it ready. I thought I had something. Something I don't always play. Yes. I haven't played that in a while.
I got big balls, big old balls, big as grapefruits, big as pumpkins, yes sir, yes sir. And on my really good days, they swell to the size of small dogs. My balls are as big as small dogs, but it ain't bragging if it's true, yes sir, yes sir. It ain't bragging if it's true. Muhammad Ali said that back when he was a young man, back when he was Cassius Clay, before he fought too many fights and left his brain inside the ring. And sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. Sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. I got a friend whose goal in life was to one day go down on Madonna. That's all he wanted, that was all, to one day go down on Madonna. And when my friend was 34, he got his wish in Rome one night. He got to go down on Madonna in Rome one night in some hotel. And ever since he's been depressed, cause life is shit from here on in. And all our friends just shake their heads and say too soon, too soon, too soon. He went down on Madonna too soon, too young, too soon, too soon. And it ain't bragging if it's true, yes sir, yes sir. It ain't bragging if it's true. Muhammad Ali said that back when he was Cassius Clay, before he fought too many fights and left his brain inside the ring. And sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. Sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. If certain girls don't look at you, it means that they like you a lot. If other girls don't look at you, it just means they're ignoring you. How can you know, how can you know which is which, who's doing what? I guess that you can ask them, which one are ya, baby? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? And all you need to do that is one good pair of big balls. Balls as big as grapefruits, balls as big as pumpkins, balls as big as mine. But even though my balls are big, sometimes I wish they were bigger, even bigger. Big as the wheels on tractors, big as the golden arches, big as the Golden Gate Bridge, big as the state of Kansas, big as Mars and Jupiter, big as the swing of Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods.
All right, Widdershins Radio. That was Dan Byrne with Tiger Woods, and we have Kenya Coviak on the line. I'm pretty sure now.
At last!
There you are. How the hell are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm late, but I apologize for that. But I have issues with Metro Pizza anyway. My phone went into safe mode. But how are you?
Safe mode.
I didn't even know the phone could go into safe mode. You know.
Well, I know there's the iPhones had a problem, and apparently they disabled the FaceTime. I heard of that. Like, apparently none of that's going to work for several days until they come up with a fix for some bug that some 14-year-old kid found out, where they can FaceTime you and you don't accept it, and they have access to your microphone and maybe your camera. So I don't know if you have an iPhone.
Before. Like, oh my God, it's old people. Oh my God, turn it off.
So I don't know if you heard last week. I think you were in the chat room actually. We played your rant about the Utu thing, and that took up the bulk of the show because it was too good to stop it. I still don't know if we played the whole thing, but I'm still waiting for the book. Apparently Utu sent me a copy of the book. I haven't read it yet. I don't know. You read it yet?
I have not read it yet. He wants to give me my copy at convocation, but I'm still going to download my own ebook just so I know what I'm talking about when I get there.
Yeah, and that in your video was the first time I heard anybody say, nobody's read the fucking book. It's a no-brainer. They have all this controversy about something that nobody's seen yet. Only the title do we know. All
this unmitigated gall, all this smoke and no fire. How you gonna have all this smoke and you don't have anything to fuel it with? What do you have to fuel it with? Your imagination? Nothing but hot air. You know, and I know flames can come from gases, but that's a little bit too much gas for me. I think that gas is methane, and that comes from something else. So.
Exactly. And yeah, so I read before I had him on the show when all this stuff was first taken off. There, I found somebody sent me a link to a free sample, and so it was like, you know, the intro, and I think most of the first chapter. I think, but, you know, I learned as much as I could before. You know, I like you. I want to know what I was talking about before I talked about it, and yeah. Well, I'm not black. I have 7% African blood that I know of, but I don't look black at all, so I can't really take up that mantle, and that's kind of always been my problem with the thing in the first place is the people carrying the torches, and right away that's a problem. All seem to be a mob of white people. A mob of white people carrying torches. I don't know. Even as a white ass motherfucker like me, I find that problematic.
I heard that word so much, but okay, but I get what you're saying, and that's kind of what it was. This all started with the fact that, yes, I understand that it was a person, and I hate that phrase of color, but that's what we have. It was a black person who actually, I believe, started this. But the issue is, okay, this is in-house. I get it, and it magnified because it was something that was on the national stage, and I get that. But why is it the people riding hardest in this are not even of the diaspora? I don't understand that at all. Seriously. You can't be at the front of the struggle, you know, and we're just sitting in the back like, okay, well, I guess you'll do it for me. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, you know? That's not how that freaking works.
Oh, yeah, I think I got that from your video. I think that was the term I'd never heard before, the Great White Savior. Like, who the fuck asked you, the Great White Savior, to come in and save the people of color?
It's irritating. I mean, there was recently, there's a good example of that going on. It's not even strictly pagan because they're mostly atheists in this area, but I know you've heard of food not bombs. I know you have had.
Don't even get me started, girl. Oh, all right. I got shit to say after this. Go ahead.
You know, and they're nice. The people that I met, the individuals that I met were very sweet. And that's what I'm going to say. I even have an interview with them on one of my YouTube channels from when one of the remaining pieces of literature left from my years of writing, because most of my sites have been destroyed by I don't know what. But, yeah, I have that interview up because it was a video. And they came into Detroit, you know, and they were doing the food not bombs thing, and I get it, and they were, you know, capturing food that had been, you know, discarded and rescuing food that was still safe to eat, mostly vegan. Here's the issue. Did you check the neighborhood where you were doing these things to see if a lot of homeless people were going to come and eat the vegan food? You need to look at where you're going. Yeah, they accept you. This is all great, you know, and it's not even just a race thing. It's a demographic and classes thing. You're showing them how to eat this food, but in the meantime, are you bringing them stuff they're going to eat? Are you showing them to prepare things they have access to? You know, you need to look and see. You can't leave the neighborhood if you're not of the neighborhood, or at least are cognizant and have some sort of feel of it. Well, it's the same thing with this whole thing with Utu. I mean, seriously, this is an in-house conversation to a point, but it became national because it was a national stage, you know. And even though it's on the West Coast, we have to be honest with ourselves, and we know that, you know, it's a circuit. We know it's a circuit. And it was his first time coming out there, I believe, to do this because this is the premiere of his book. And all these people were riding and caping and one person accused me of white privilege because they didn't even take the time to see who I was. And I'm like, you're riding so hard. I mean, you're sitting up here crusading. I mean, any minute now is waiting for someone to come out with a suit of armor and say, I am the social justice warrior knight. I mean, what is going on? What is really, really going on that those voices that should be most outraged or most supportive are being drowned out by the quote-unquote allies? That makes no sense to me. It's arrogance.
Absolute. Well, let me go there before I get too lost, because you took me there. It's like that's that's where I learned that. It was the Food Not Bombs gathering of 1997, I believe it was. San Francisco was the 50th anniversary of the United Nations, and all these actions were taking place. So it was like Food Not Bombs, the industrial workers of the world, Earth First, all of which I was active in all of these groups, the free radio movement, they're all there. So it's like I was working overtime at this fucking thing. But we descended upon the city of San Francisco for a week of activism and rioting in the streets for our various points. And, it was the Food Not Bombs gathering. It's like, I was definitely a Food Not Bombs person. And I definitely was not vegan. But it was in the community where I was doing Food Not Bombs. It made sense, and it worked for those people. But we were in San Francisco, in an alien land. We were there, I was with the industrial workers of the world doing radical union shit, with Food Not Bombs doing Food Not Bombs shit. The Earth First shit was going to come in about a week when we went on to the next step in our journey. But we went to this meeting of mostly, white people, maybe a couple brown people here and there, just slightly brown, but not really any black people in the room. And we're in the Mission District of San Francisco, which is very not white. And people were debating, what action we should take for the things that we want to see happen in that community. What activism can we do while we're there? And somebody raised their hand and said, hey, did anybody ask anybody that lives here what they want in their community? And it was such a no-brainer, but the fact that nobody had asked that question just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I never forgot that, and I've gone back to that moment several times while this thing happens here. It's like, these stupid activist kids. I really wasn't a kid. I think I was Uncle Phil there. We came in, imposing our will on other people in the name of being their allies and helping them. Like, nobody asked what they wanted. It's like, this is what I see here. It's like, nobody asked the great white savior to come in and take up this fight. You want to be an ally? Well, then there's a principle. If you're an ally in this fight, then the principle would be the people of color. If the people of color have a unified voice of what they want and they don't want, then you shut the fuck up, you sit the fuck down, you do what they ask you to do, and ask them, do you need help? What do you need help with? Do you need help first? That's always important. And what do you need help with? Just those couple questions could solve so many problems. People just fucking ask them before forming a fucking mob. But Kenya, you're sitting there while I'm ranting. You're supposed to be ranting.
Oh, I'm happy. I don't rant all the time. I really don't. I've been trying to be so peaceful. I've calmed down in the last few years. You have no idea. And I think it's the human service worker in me versus the former biker in me. I think they are at war at all times. And I wasn't in a nice club. I'm not going to say which one, but I want to be on the watch list. I probably already am. But the thing is that it's just that they're at war all the time. And I had time that day. When I ranted. And the lady who I don't want to name her, the lady actually said that was not her intention, was to take it that far.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not her intention to cause any trouble. So I'm going to accept that that's what she said.
You mean the one that started the whole hoodoo, or not hoodoo, Utu controversy, at Pantheacon? I forget the names.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about Pantheacon. I was talking about over here at Convocation, because Convocation.
Oh yeah, because that was a whole. Yeah.
This is Utu country. This is Utu country over here, and to the point where we're like this. Let's see the. Can we swear on here? I think we can.
Oh fuck yes.
Okay, it was like, let's see the damn book first. Can we see the damn book? Can y'all shut the fuck up so we can see the damn book? And that's how it was. And so it was like, okay. But no, as far as Pantheacon, I can't speak to the emotions and feelings and the history, the historicity of what's going on over there. because I don't know enough about it. I do know a few things. I do know a few things about, the movements. I do know a few things from being a human service worker over here in the metropolitan area. I do know a few things as far as, I'm living this black life. I'm wearing this mask. I have the dual consciousness. We all have our invisible man journey, quote unquote, our liberal arts journey, or whatever else we're going to do. However, that does not give us the right to automatically assume that everybody who is not from our phenotype or from our specific cultural standpoint is going to be absolutely racist or exploitative. You can't make that judgment until you see what's going on. They threw so much crap, and I was like, this is beginning to piss me off, because I'm like, wait a minute, Yana said this. Okay, did he read the book to you yet? Because I sure haven't seen the damn book over there. Now, while he was over here at Michigan Pagan Fest, he did one of the rituals from conjuring Harriet Tubman, and I participated in one of the rituals. And I'm about one of the meanest people you are going to meet when it comes to calling certain things out. And I feel that if I would have felt he was out of pocket, I would have said something then, and I would have not said anything now. I don't feel he's out of pocket, but I need to see the rest of the book.
Yeah.
So that's what that's up. That's what, I am unable to can with the people right now who are causing all of this controversy and disruption and this anger and all of this discord without having read the book. How are you going to be a scholar and stand on your scholarship and tell me you have this patent, overall, overreaching, sweeping generalization and you haven't read the damn book?
Well, I feel y'all, but we live in Trump land nowadays, and part of the reason we live there is because people will be inspired by fake headlines and not read the damn story. Nobody reads the story. So the headline was conjuring Harriet Tubman, Mama Moses, and the Underground Railroad. I haven't gotten my copy yet, so I don't have the title down right now. But that's basically what people were going off about. Just those couple lines were enough for people to form mobs because they feel unsafe and unwelcome, and he implying that he's dangerous, and then thank you, Marta, because then somebody late in the game they threw out what was it, the witch doctor thing. And they kind of were implying, and even somebody that I know and respect, kind of, was calling him out about the name, and the implication was that witch doctor was an African term. And I don't know. I have Google. I Googled this shit, and it was like Estonian or something. There was some European province which was the first place that the term could be traced back to. But unfortunately, the Wikipedia thing for witch doctor, the picture that's there is two African dudes. Two African witch doctors are the picture. So I'm thinking that anybody that ever looked it up probably just looked at the picture and went off. But if you actually read the data there, it wasn't an African term. It was used all over the damn place. And then, just the
thing that makes my entire ass sick. Oh, yeah. Sorry. They do. They make my entire ass sick from that. Those are the people who say see, this is why people need to read. This is why people need to read. I had somebody argue with me for an hour about the word smudge.
Smudge?
About the word smudge. We got into this huge thing because, I listen to people. I listen to my elders. And when my elders educate me, I sit the fuck down and I shut the fuck up and I close my mouth and I open my ears. And then if I find something I question, I go research it. Smudge is not a word that is from here. And it took this person an hour yelling at me, literally yelling at me, before they would sit down and look up the etymology of the word.
Well, see, I didn't know that. I would assume that smudged was a native word. And I know the European was like sensed. That word came up a lot. But what you got?
Nope. We traced it back to there's a little bit of a Welsh influence there, and it falls under smoke cleansings. You know, it comes under smoke cleansings, fumigations, and
yeah.
other things, because
Fumigation
smudging
is a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we call it smudging here, you know, and again, I'm not a card-carrying indigenous person. Let me put that out there right now. So I want to make sure people know that. Although my family is Creek, we just don't have our card. But as we know, smudging does entail more than just quote-unquote fumigation and smoke cleansing. It's not just cleansing. There's healing and there's other things. So when I told them that when they use the word smudge, they need to be clear what tradition they're coming from, and how smudge is not an indigenous word, and how smoke cleansing is not only an indigenous American or Turtle Island practice, everything blew up in the room. And the person who was indigenous in the room tried to correct them, and then they yelled them down because they had read in the university that they had attended that it was. And I'm like, okay, you tell us what to think, boo. Just cut our heads off and put stuff in, and you tell me what you think. Because obviously you know a lot more than I do, and you know a lot more than the person who was raised in the culture. Please, go off.
Right on. So what would be your primary practice? I see this, was it Black Moon Clan on your page? I don't know what that is.
Oh, Black Moon Grove. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm a degree initiate in an eclectic, I stress eclectic in the modern American term, Wiccan Coven. And I say that very loosely because that's the word that they chose, because that was what, you know, resonated with them. But we are not in any way affiliated with Northern European sorcery, British sorcery, or British traditional Wicca. So I'm initiated in that. Black Moon Grove itself is a tradition that I was authorized, you know, to develop from my former high priestess. She said that, you know what, you need to do your own thing. I'm going to let you hive off and do your own. You don't even have to. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me do my research and see what I want to do. I didn't want to do a coven because it didn't resonate with me what I was trying to do. It's a teaching grove, is what it is. But we teach modern
All right.
Yeah. So we teach modern neo-pagan witchcraft.
Right on. I hived off in a different fashion. I waited for all of my elders to be dead.
Wow.
And then in my tradition, the elder of that area gets to decide whatever is necessary for the survival of that craft, and can do whatever the fuck they want, pretty much. Call it whatever they want. So that's Circle A now. But yeah,
So
hived
they're
off in a different way.
I'm Black. That's how that works. They're Oak Moon, I'm Black Moon.
Oak Moon and Black Moon. I like those.
Because I'm the
They
black
sound
girl.
dark.
Black Moon.
Black Moon. Oh, I didn't even think of the racial context. You know, not that I don't see black. You know,
Hey, Black Moon.
I didn't even think of that. I was thinking like Hecate, that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
then you're the manager of the Detroit Conjure Festival, so I'm thinking you do some of that.
Yep, I am the founder of the Detroit Conjure and Folk Magic Festival here in Detroit, or Metro Detroit. I am also now the owner of the Michigan Witches Ball, as soon as I finish making payments, here in Michigan. I also run the Midwest Witches Bazaar. I used to be a PPD coordinator. I decided to move away from that. I'm on the board of Ancient Faiths Alliance, which ran a harvest festival and does community outreach to different groups. And it's made of heathens, Odinists, nature-based religious people, as well as me, the little old witch from 7 Mile.
Well, you know,
I'm everywhere.
you remind me of a story. Once upon a time, back when me and Marta actually used to still go to, dare we say the P word, Pantheacon. Oh yeah, once upon a time, it was only 20 minutes away. It was kind of a necessity if you were somebody that was anybody. You had to be there, and I was definitely somebody, so I had to be there, even though I didn't like a lot of the people that were there. But the after parties ended up in our room a couple nights in a row, and late into the night, in walks a person of color, a very, very black man, and he had a tattoo of Thor's hammer on his chest, And I met this guy, and he was the first black Ozatru that I ever met. And I always remember the conversation that I had with man. I asked him, how do you deal with the racism inherent in your ranks? And his explanation was actually that he had pure German blood, and that's how he dealt with like skinheads and that kind of stuff. It wasn't the best answer in the world, but so you're working with Ozatru and heathenists, and how's that? Does that ever come up?
It's loud.
Yeah.
It can be loud, but they're fun. They're fun. Right now we're on hiatus because there's a lot of stuff going on. Some of us have some health issues, but things are, a lot of stuff was going on. Matter of fact, the president of the board was actually running as a libertarian for office in the state. So most of the people that I deal with are leaders in some kind of way. So it makes life a lot more interesting and the arguments much more fun.
So when is the Detroit? What was it? Detroit Conjure?
Convocation.
No. There's Convocation, but she does it. The Detroit Conjure. What's it called?
The Detroit Conjure and Folk Magic Festival is hosting the Witches Ball this year, but we're also having a morning festival because I'm in transition. Because I've never run the ball before, so I can't do a full day like I normally do. So it's only going to be 5 or 6 hours instead of like into the evening. So it will be October 19th in 2019, and it'll be in Warren. And there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I might even have somebody from the Real Black Witches of Detroit teaching there. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Yvette. You gonna teach? If you don't want to teach, say no right now. Oops, silence is consent. Here we go. So she's going to be teaching. That's my friend. That's the Motown witch. That's my friend.
And then what about Convocation? Are you involved with that, or are you just on that page where you
I'm just
were
teaching.
motivated to speak on the subject?
Actually, I'm going to be teaching there this year
Okay.
again, which is always an honor to teach for them. Every year I've taught for them. I'm so happy. Because they chose one of my classes and felt that it was good enough to share with other people and let me like destroy their entire psyche and like mess them up on their path and make them. I mean, what I meant was to share knowledge with them in a kind and loving way. But yeah, so they are really a wonderful bunch of people. They're in their the 23rd. No, let's see. The Fool was ended. So that was 21, 22. I think there's a 24th year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not positive. I think it is. That is so sad. I should know. But
well, Christian Dave's in the chat room, and he says he wishes he could go to your witch's ball, but he's stuck in Salem.
Fine, that's so sweet. It's going to
so
be
many
a
witches
blast.
balls, so little time.
I wish I could actually come that way, but you know what? Michigan is a beast in its own self, me trying to do anything. So,
All right.
and that reminds me, I just want to hold a little candle up right now and just say that, I'm standing behind Rachel True. I was real mad about that. So if you're listening to the podcast, we have a ticket for you to the Michigan Witches Ball, Rachel. Boom. I'm here for you.
Okay, well, spill it. What's that? What are you talking about?
Oh, you haven't heard about the latest controversy with Rachel True. Okay, so that movie that we all love, The Craft.
Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
The black girl, yeah.
Yeah.
They accidentally left her out. Well, I can't say that they weren't going to invite her later or not.
It was some sort of like a gathering of the stars, and she wasn't invited.
Right.
I read the story.
Right. So my thought is this. You know what? No matter what, you want to come to Detroit, come to Detroit. I got you. It's whatever. I'll support you on the simple strength of that character. Representation matters. And that character let everybody know in Detroit to a point that I knew and I was practicing witchcraft with, which you'd be surprised how long I've been practicing witchcraft. We all were like, we got together. We actually felt, we felt that in our chest. We were like so happy to see us on the screen doing witchcraft. And not being in the woods somewhere looking like the magic Negro in film. We were so happy. which
Yeah.
is so.
It was a great movie. You know, I think I was just getting into, you know, I think I was working at the first witch store in Santa Cruz, and, you know, the impact on the craft in the professional scene, like you could see that. And where we live now is a stone's throw from the shop that Nancy, Farusa Bach, I screwed up her name, but Nancy in the craft actually owned a witch store, I think either at the time of the filming or shortly thereafter, but I think it was after, yeah. But one of the older shops around called Panpipes, just literally like, you know, it's a 5-minute walk from here. They just recently, they just closed. They didn't try and sell it. They just kind of disappeared.
Well, everything, you know, if you were to look it up, everything said that they were closed for the holiday for some reason, closed for the holidays, and reopening on December 27th. And that was the plan. And then December 27th came and went, and all of a sudden, permanently closed. They didn't announce anything, nothing.
Hollywood has no fucking witch store. Do you fucking believe that shit?
You know,
No, I don't believe that in any way,
there's
shape,
stuff
or
like
form.
in,
It's somebody's
you know,
basement. It's somebody's basement.
yeah, there's like North Hollywood, like Burbank. There's a shop that I want to check out there, but you know, right here in the heart of Hollywood was fucking Panpipes from the dawn of time, and they just disappeared. You know, they didn't try and sell it or anything. God, I would have fucking done. I don't want to own a brick and mortar again, but I would have done a GoFundMe campaign or something to fucking try and take that thing over. At least have, you know, other people work there and me not have to be there all fucking day. But God, to not have a witch store, you know, a block from me, yeah, that kind of sucks. But anyway, yeah, so there was a lot of actual craft stuff that went in the movie, and I liked that. But yeah, I don't like what happened to her there.
No, I don't either. And again, I can't call it. I can't say that that's what happened, you know, but we look in things and we look at the pattern, and, you know, I can't call it. I can't say, because I'm not educated enough on her history with Hollywood and what's been going on with those conventions, so I can't speak intelligently on that. I can say that on its face, I don't like it. So there you go. But she just made such an impact, because when did I get my first? Oh, wow. I remember I was practicing witchcraft. I was learning about it when I was at the library in elementary school, because there was a witch at the library. And she was like giving me Scott Cunningham. Like, here, go outside and whistle for the wind. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. So it's like, you know, so, and then it was just so long before we saw somebody. And now look at us now, you know, we're getting into stupid ass witch wars about shit that shouldn't, you know, divide us, but should unify us, because it actually is talking more along the line of how to spread information about how to honor and elevate spirits, and we're sitting up here getting our panties in a twist.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has been the bulk of the material of this show, because there's so much of it. Everybody's talking about it. There's some panty twisting and wig snatching and, you know, fuckery and yeah. The Jerry Springer of witchcraft over here, man. But there's just no shortage of that, and I just hope that, you know, someday when people come to their senses, they'll be able to look back and hear how ridiculous their stories sounded on shows like this, and, you know, not do this shit. There are real enemies out there, and we've got hoodoo and we've got conjure. We've got these other traditions, and even strega, that cross into Christianity a lot. Strega crosses, you know, very much into Catholicism a lot. So, you know, kind of a slippery slope. But to me, the people that would cause my kind the most harm would cause the most harm to most of the groups that you know, I care about. You know, they cause the most harm to women, transgender people, to gay people, to people of other ethnic persuasions. All the same thing. It's all Christianity. All you know, Christianity is my main problem there, and I can peacefully coexist with them, but not when they hold ultimate power. like they do now. The crazy right-wing Christianity holds power in this country, and they've already been able to use their Christianity to deny gay people, cakes, and to deny other people insurance in the workplace, all based on their strongly held religious convictions. And that's a problem for me, and it's going to be more of a problem all the time. But we do have these, we do have witchcrafts that go into those areas, and so it's kind of a slippery slope to talk shit about Christianity when we have Christian witches now.
Well, now I have to address that on the black perspective to a point. Yeah, we have the crossover. We have the Christo pagans. We have Christian witches and Christian Mormons and pagan Mormons and pagan Quakers, or rather, they want to be called Quaker pagans, which I respect that. But all I know is this: it's Christians got matches, and I'm just gonna say they set people on fire. Some of them, just like any other mass religion that has a huge following, and people in large groups with large amounts of passion and a dogma have a tendency to burn people who do not agree. And I'm not buying into the 9 million burning times thing. That's not what I'm saying.
No, the math's off. The math is off.
Yeah, that's the bullshit right there. But that's okay. They did a lot more stuff that was even more horrific than burning. And honestly, if we really look at ourselves right now in this country, we're only about 2 tiki torches away from a bonfire. So I'm really watching. My girlfriend just not my girlfriend, my club sister and girlfriend. She just went overseas. She was in where was that? At Cape Town. She went to South Africa with her boyfriend. She's a flat out outward witch. I mean, you can't miss it. The big ass Baphomet tattoo. I mean, it's hard to miss. Okay, black woman, beautiful black woman with veve and occult symbols tattooed all over her. And the only fear I had,
and Baphomet. Oh my God! All right,
look,
pics or it didn't happen, man. Send me pics.
That's her. I'll send you her profile. But I can show that to you. That's not a problem. But the thing that got me was, and I love her. She's beautiful. She's living her life. She's traveling. But my only fear, I wasn't afraid of her being hurt because of her color in South Africa. I was afraid because she was a witch in South Africa. That's what I was afraid of. I'm like, holy crap. It's like, you're going over here. We've got bigger problems, people, than to let somebody write a book and go off on it before we read it. We have bigger problems. People are murdering children in Africa in the name of fake-ass Christianity, making money.
I have students. I have students in Africa. I have students in India, Indonesia, and those are just a few of the places where they still kill witches, and there's a couple of those places they still burn witches. And I'm like, I'm really concerned, but I applaud their balls or guts or whatever you want to call it. It's like, it's not that hard to be a witch and be out here compared to there. They're literally still taking their lives in their hands being witches.
I think people forget. I think we become complacent to a point. I remember when we ran Pagan Pride. Well, when I ran Pagan Pride as a coordinator, and I shouldn't say ran it, but I was honored to be a coordinator, which is a difference. I didn't run anything. I was honored to be a coordinator. And I remember that we caught a lot of heat from somebody in New Jersey. I'm not going to mention her name, because we had selected our public park to be off the beaten path, where people who were not necessarily out but wanted to think about coming out, they could park and go to the park and not necessarily be outed unless they were ready. And she gave me this huge thing about how dare you, Pride is supposed to be about being out. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. But here in Michigan, we've had people shot at and shot. We've had people having their living room, have a van driven through it. We've had a child who took her own life, Tempest Smith, and we had a foundation for it. And that's what the Michigan Pagan Scholarship comes from, in her honor. But we had a young lady who took her own life. She had to make this horrible decision because she was persecuted because she was a witch. And she was like, please don't get this wrong. I think she was 11. Please, if I didn't get her age right, please don't beat me up, y'all. But, and this is what's going on. So I'm sorry, I really can't find it in myself to sit up and speak about how I'm upset and having a hissy fit over somebody writing about something and I ain't read the damn book. I'm looking at people lose their lives and livelihood, and you're sitting up here worried about this making you feel unsafe because someone wrote some words on a freaking page and you haven't even read them yet. Sorry, I'm ranting again.
No, that's why you're here. But let's take us a little break and we'll rant some more. Wig-shits. We'll be right back doing some ranting, some wig snatching, all that kind of shit that you tuned in for. We'll be right back.
Unless you don't give a fuck to be free. Paris is my name. Paris is my name. Who's to blame? Who's to blame?
Big old fat policeman.
I'll roll to the right nip. Felt from all the fire and pain as they rained on the brains of black men. Culture bandits, they planned it but never thought that they would get caught, let alone by a black man. Take and rape, shape your brain and claim that what's ours is theirs, so you fear the white race and hate and never think about the fact we built it all. Got you thinking all the black can do is crawl, so you lose when you choose to be Duke. No crew from Bush and Duke play the flute. I shoot cause I ain't never gave a fuck about a skunk, but some brothers wanna go out like a punk. Now they fade creams and contacts. Used to be black, so I'm scheming and kinda acting extra false facts to back to genocide. It ain't no wonder the strong black man's died. Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, yeah. Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, right? Make way for a panther, yeah. Catch a nosebleed.
Can't survive if the revolutionary is killed. So the revolutionary has to be wise to avoid the killing fields. Not for the sake that he wants to live, but that the revolution may live and thrive. So revolutionaries have to be wise. Not only courageous, but wise.
Cheetah with a hat full of napalm. I'm a runaway son of the nuclear A-bomb. I am the world's forgotten boy, the one who searches and destroys. Honey, gotta help me, please. Somebody gotta save my soul. Baby, detonate for me. Look out, honey, 'cause I'm using technology. Ain't got time to make no apology. So radiation in the dead of night, love in the middle of a firefight. Honey, gotta strike it right. Somebody gotta save my soul. Baby, better take my mind. Searching to destroy. And honey, I'm the world's forgotten radiation in the dead of night, love in the middle of a firefight. Murder gotta strike me blind. Somebody gotta save my soul. Baby, penetrate my mind. And I'm the world's forgotten boy, the one who's searching to destroy. And yeah, I'm the world's forgotten boy, the one who's searching to destroy. Forgotten boy, forgotten boy.
Iggy Pop on Widdershins Radio in Paris for that. Make way for a Panther, because we're in Hollywood, and Black Panther's going to sweep the Oscars, man. And it's crazy when the Oscars
SAG
happen.
award last night. No, was it? No, I'm sorry. Sunday night.
Yeah.
They won the top prize.
Yeah, Oscars crazy in this town. The town kind of shuts down, so we gotta like buy food and get home and sit there for a day. First the Super Bowl, then the Oscars. Is this fucking nuts right now? The struggle is real, people. But I got to tell you about a couple things really quick, because August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Hex Fest, a weekend of witchery in old New Orleans. Join in the magic. Tales of the magic of the Crescent City of New Orleans stretch back over the centuries. It's an enigmatic place where voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, and even Christianity blend at the crossroads of spirituality and power, or of spiritual power. On August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Brian Cain, Christian Day, and the Witches of New Orleans present Hexfest, a weekend of witchery held in the heart of the historic French Quarter. The conference opens with a riverboat ritual and dinner held on an authentic steamboat on the Mississippi River, followed by 2 full days of workshops, drumming, and ritual at the Bourbon's Orleans Hotel, a venue riddled with a history of hauntings. Hexfest has gathered witches, root workers, voodoo priests, and other magical teachers from around the world in New Orleans to offer their time-honored wisdom. Between workshops, attendees will love the magical shopping in our on-site vending hall, where you can purchase powerful ritual tools, signed books, exquisite jewelry, and spellcrafts handmade by true practitioners. All right, here's the part where I got to take a couple breaths, because the lineup is huge. Presenters for the 2019 Hexfest hail from across the spectrum of witchcraft and magic, and include Brian Cain, Christian Day, Austin Shippey, Brian Ballard, Carrie Crow, Christine Stephens, Dorothy Morrison, the Dragon Ritual Drummers, Fiona Horn, Hoodoo Sen Moise, Lady Rhea, Laura Tempest Zakroff. I think Christian Day pronounced it last time. I'm going to say it again. Laura Tempest Zakroff, Michael Carell, Melissa Mayhem, Patricia Telesco, Rosemary Ellen Gilly, Sally Ann Glassman, Sandra Maria Wright, Sen Elias, Sarita Deste, Star Cassis, Star Ravenhawk, Witch Doctor Utu, and Hand Yeshe Matthews. Get to hexfest.com and get your tickets, because that's just going to sell out, man. But by the way I'm plugging it, the passion behind it, I'm sure it's going to sell out just based on the coverage on this show alone. Hexfest going to just sell out this year, man. So get there, get your tickets. And Kenya, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
You going to Hexfest? What's up with that?
No, unfortunately, I'm not going to Hexfest. I'll be working here on the ground. I got boots on the ground here. I don't have all the stuff going on in the summertime, obviously, but I do actually go to some other festivals and try to help. So.
Dan, Christian Day says that he needs to help me pronounce all these. God, how many did I fuck up? Damn. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, so no Hex Fest for you, but you got what's the convocation? When's that coming up? That's before Hex Fest, and that's where Utu's coming. Do you have the details on that?
Convocation is in February.
February.
It will be this February. Actually, the dates are. I should know this by heart by now, but I do this every year because I've been going so long. Okay, here we go. Pulling it up. Convocation will be the 4th, because we have more than the regular amount of weeks this year in con. So I believe it's the weekend of the 21st or the 23rd. I could be wrong. Let me look at my calendar. I'm presenting. I should know this. I just know to show up. That's what I do. I just show up. That's all I know to do. I just show up.
That's me too, man. I'm a total diva. It's like I don't show up for dress rehearsal or none of that shit. Just tell me what the ritual is. I'll show up.
The 21st through the 24th. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And what about it? You got the guests?
You
know
let me bring it up?
Yeah, bring it on up. Plug
then,
that shit. Plug that shit.
Yeah, they're good people. I like them. So let me pull them up. Convocation.
They got Utu, then we'll plug them, man.
Oh, he's doing ritual there too. He's doing the book signing. He's doing the ritual.
Wait, I think it just happened when we had him on the air, because I remember that was the first place I heard the announcement when they asked him to do it specifically.
Oh, it was gonna happen. It was gonna, especially after nonsense. Oh no, I don't know what they thought. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so our guest of honor this year, Tess Whitehurst. I probably butchered that. Tess Whitehurst teaches magical arts in live workshops and via her online learning hub, the Good Vibe Tribe School of Magical Arts. Oh, I gotta take a breath. An award-winning author, she has written 8 books, which have been translated into 18 languages. She has appeared on Bravo, NBC, and Fox, and has been featured in Winner's Digest and Spirit and Destiny. She lives in the Rocky Mountains. I used to live in the Rocky Mountains. Of course, I used to live where nobody goes, Leadville. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm hoping I'm not destroying this. Ivo Dominguez Jr.? Ivo? Evo?
Hell, I don't know.
Me either. I have to educate myself. Is a visionary and practitioner of a variety of esoteric disciplines. He has been active in Wicca and the pagan community since 1978. Has been teaching since 1982. Ivo was a founding member and past high priest of Keepers of the Holly Chalice, the first coven of the Assembly of the Sacred Wheel, a Wiccan tradition. He currently serves as one of the elders of the Assembly of the Sacred Wheel, a Wiccan syncretic tradition that draws inspiration from astrology, Kabbalah, the Western magical tradition, and the folk religions of Europe. His techniques and insights are rooted in a synthesis of traditional metaphysical teachings, modern science, and memories from past lives. He is taught at many gatherings, conferences, and venues across the United States and abroad. Ivo also, I hope I'm not messing his name up, is also a professional astrologer who has studied astrology since 1980 and has been offering consultations and readings since 1988. Oh, okay, Kyle said I should just list the names. Okay, all right, I can do that. Okay, I'll list the names and just who they are. Storm Fairy Wolf, I know you've heard of him.
Yeah. We've run into each other a couple times, yeah.
I'm just going to, you know what? I'm just going to read this. Okay, Storm Fairy Wolf is a professional author, teacher, warlock, and co-owner of the Mystic Dream, a metaphysical occult retail shop in Walnut Creek, California. And he's an initiate of the fairy tradition and holds the Black Wand of a Master. And over 30 years of experience for teaching more than 20. And the founder of the Blue Rose. Okay? Devin Hunter. Author of the
Travel Together. That's easy. Wait, is Chaz there too?
I
Go ahead.
These are just the guests. Oh no, what happened to my page? Come back up here. The author of Witch's Book of Power and Witch's Book of Spirits, and is a professor. Oh, he's from San Francisco. Okay.
We know him.
Yeah. Well, it's Devin and Storm. They're both there, so they can travel together. I was wondering if Chaz was going to be there too. Go ahead.
Okay, and he's the founding teacher of the Black Rose School of Witchcraft. Okay. Now let me look at those are the guests of honor. Let me look at the featured presenters. I know somebody's missing off of there. Okay, so yep. Well, I know he's coming. He's always coming. He is a fixture. He is our people. He's always there. Jason Mankey will be there. I think at this point we have a permanent suite for Jason Mankey at every conversation.
Yeah.
At this point.
I got his T-shirt, man.
Yeah,
think I got a book
we
of
raise
his, too.
horns out here. We raise the horns out here. Jason Mankey is a Wiccan witch writer and wannabe rock and roller. Part of the Greater Pagan community for over 20 years. Spoke across Canada and Great Britain. Author, we know. Oh, really? Recently released The Witch's Altar with Laura Tempest. Oh no, I'm going to mess the name up. Zaycroft. It looks like Zakroff, but okay.
I know,
And
but when Christian was on, he said Zaycroft, so I'm going to stick with that.
Okay, Laura Tempest Zaycroft and Transformative Witchcraft, The Greater Mysteries. And in addition to writing, he's the editor at Pathos Pagan. He was in Sunnyvale, California with his wife, Ari, and their cats, Evie and Summer.
Wait. Did you say he's the editor?
Editor at Pathos Pagan.
Okay, so whenever we see, stuff that's messed up at Pathos, we got to blame that guy. One has a problem with errors.
No, you can't say that because I'm editor over at PBN News. And stuff just gets by because we got so many people writing. No, don't say that.
No, man. She gets it, man. That's what copy editors are for, man. If Marta was there, that wouldn't happen. But go ahead. What you were saying.
Well, that has to do with being paid, and let me stop. We don't always get paid, okay? Because I do a lot of volunteering. So, okay, Jackie Smith will be there, founder of Coventry Creations, and the co-owner of the Candlewick Shop in Ferndale, Michigan, locally based, internationally known maker of spiritual products. If I'm not mistaken, I think those were her candles in the craft, actually, in that shop. Some of her candles were in there.
Really?
Author, teacher, presenter, radio host, reader, and healer. She has devoted her entire life to the mission of normalizing the words witch and magic. I'm just going to slide down. Ken Day will be there. I don't know if you are familiar with him. He's been a professional shaman since going full-time in 1989. He practices Chinese medicine, Tai Chi, Qigong, and a number of other interesting esoteric things that generally keep him from getting bored or boring. He has published 2 books on shamanism, Dance of Stones, A Shamanic Road Trip, and Post-Tribal Shamanism, A New Look at the Old Ways, both of which are available here at Convocation and through Amazon.com and other bookstores. He's from Cincinnati, where he has his private practice with his amazing wife, Patricia, and his equally amazing daughter, Megan. He teaches a series of workshops in shamanism, which are available pretty much anywhere there is sufficient interest. I'm kind of confused about that description, though. I thought he said he practiced neo-shamanism. Okay, you know what? I'm old. I probably forgot. Okay. Ellen Dugan will be there.
Oh, wow.
And she's the award-winning author of 25 books, psychic clairvoyant, been a practicing witch for over 30 years, well known for her candor and humor. She is also a master gardener. She's popular. Her books have been translated into 12 languages. And in 2015, Ellen launched a popular paranormal fiction series entitled Legacy of Magic. Ellen teaches classes on both witchery, psychic abilities, and magic. Please visit her website and blog, ellendugan.com and Blogspot. Clifford's coming back, Clifford Hartley Lowe. Clifford writes at, that's sorcerer.blog, and holds a BA in psychology from NYU. An accomplished practitioner of several schools of magic for over 35 years, he is an expert in medieval and Renaissance astrological magic and grimoires, such as and I always say this wrong, the Picatrix. I always say it wrong. Merging his interest in the dark aesthetics with deep study of historic materials, He is an outspoken proponent of wealth magic, weather magic, love magic, healing magic, tarot, and black magic. Yeah, I took one of his black magic courses. It was great. I'm only using my powers for good. His diverse influence
Me too.
hoodoo, Kabbalah, and Greco-Roman magic. A former promoter and
Good for me.
DJ, he sometimes enjoys lavish parties. Yeah, that's the absinthe man. He comes in there, he rolls through with. He is the absinthe man. That is the man. You want a green fairy? You go see. Oh, let me stop. Okay. Anyway.
Every festival has one of those. An absinthe
Yep.
man.
And see, and I don't even drink. I don't even drink. And see, that's the bad part because I drink wine very rarely.
I'll drink the
And
absinthe.
if I'm drinking, it's on because everything is funny to me, and then I start talking a little bit too much. So I start telling people about themselves. I'm not allowed to drink wine, especially around magicians. No. No.
There are times that I swallow some of that rum that I'm trying to spew on Lucero. I'll get a little drunk. But back when I had the brick and mortar, I had several different deities I had to deal with on Monday. One wanted tequila, one wanted rum, one wanted whiskey. By the time I was done, it's like 9 a.m. I got a little sip of all of those things just from trying to, spray it on them. I was lit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the hard stuff other than that.
One thing I will say about when I used to visit and was able to be honored by being taught certain things by a person that I knew, and I give him honor. That's Andrea Vitamus. That man can drink. That man, they can drink over there. They drink rum, and I mean rum. And they don't drink. They can drink. They can drink. So they're not drinking. They drinking. But that's okay because he keeps it. He keeps it 100. So that's them. But yeah, I actually have a bottle of rum in there right now in the living room that I'm saving for some people. That has all kinds of wonderful things in it for people. I decided not to pull out my dried. Can I say that out here? Oh, you're in California.
Of course you can say it.
No, I'm trying to think. Is it legal in California? I dried some salvia.
I'm sure it's
divinorum.
legal here if it's not legal there. Yeah.
Yeah, I had salvia divinorum a long time ago, so I threw some of that.
Oh, yeah, that's totally legal there. Yeah, we can grow it and shit. Yeah, it's been legal for a while. Yeah.
I never know what's legal where at this point, so I try to be careful,
We
know,
got
and
pot
not get any.
stores and, yeah, we're good.
Marijuana is legal here, but it's not legal to sell it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing.
Well, no.
It's illegal to be like a private dealer.
Yeah. But there's pot stores on every corner. Yeah. And it's cheaper than we used to have to buy it on the street, so I'm good. Hey,
Yeah.
Kenya, we got to
Yeah.
get going here. Thank you for coming on. That was great. I think we're going to have you on a lot because you're extremely entertaining. Everybody.
Play more Paris. Play more Paris. Man.
More Paris? I'll play you some Paris.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
yeah.
gonna play a Paris song, and then we're gonna go out. So we'll probably go a little over because there's been one particular song of mine that people have been requesting forever, but I don't have it on my phone. So most times when we're doing this mobile broadcast, I do everything off of my iPhone. The sound's great and everything, but over here on my laptop, we have a whole different library. It's like I can't.
Oh, you fancy? You got an iPhone.
Yeah, well, I can't get my music on the iPhone. And there's this one particular song that people have been requesting. It's like 12 minutes long. So after we play us a Paris
Happy
song,
day.
you're right. It's a happy fucking day. I've been getting a lot of requests, and we haven't been on the laptop in a while with 12 minutes to spare. So we'll probably go a little over so we can play that song. But you requested some Paris. I got some fucking Paris, man. And nobody ever
Yeah,
requested
it inspired me to
Paris.
join Head Start.
It was to join what?
It inspired me to be a family service worker at the Head Start
Nice.
because Head Start was formed by the Black Panthers. The
Yes.
prototype.
I love Paris. It's so many good songs, but I got a Paris song to play. All right,
Thank
Kenya, thank you for coming on. We're gonna have you on some more because you're fun. Okay. All right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Salam alaikum, Ashe, blessed be, all of the things that might work for you. So, all right. We'll talk to you later.
Hair grease.
Okay. Widdershins, we're going to be out after 2 more songs.
And you don't hear none of those stations for hip-hop and R&B playing them. Ask why. In fact, where are those stations today? Somebody better ask somebody that. The people that's most affected by this war are the so-called hip-hop generation.
The Army is the best kept secret in the world. And every soldier gets his or her own private room. You can forget that old brown boot image of the Army. It's a job like anything else. You love it. All the soldiers do.
I remember how it started, remember the time I was watching Rap City about 8:45. Commercial said the military giving money for school. Caught the bus up to my campus, they were signing recruits and met this dude named Diablo. Was some kind of vet. He explained the situation, told me what to expect. He said,
we'll help you pay for college and train you for work.
Said I could take computer classes and could quit if I want, but best of all was the fact that I'd have my own shit. I have my own space and have my own place to kick it. On top of that, I travel and visit the world. Hell, Diablo said the women overseas was the pearl. Didn't even call my girl. Let's get it on for show. Saw my name, took some tests, and I was out of the door. A true soldier for America, ready to go. On the road, a vacation will be good for the soul. Showed up at basic training, but what a mistake. Cause this motherfucker yelling at me all in my face. In this dirty ass latrine, 50 men in a room, running laps up in the mud at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm scrubbing toilets, doing laundry, and feeling the pain. If I didn't know no better, I think boy was my name. Same bullshit line, so many bit for me. Got a nigga twisted up in this illusion of freedom. Fuck this shit, I'm out tomorrow, made up my mind. Everything Diablo said I'm finding out was a lie. That's when my unit got the call. The commander-in-chief wanted ground troop assignments, keeping peace in the east. What a relief. I'm thinking finally something new. Shipped us off and 20 hours later we was en route. Touchdown around 11. The desert was brutal. Then the ground split and caught us by surprise from the shooting. Surreal, seen him blow the spine at his back. In the minefield, we was reeling from the attack. Seen the MO's hand upon the receiver, still attached with no arm on it, set off the beacon. Then I mashed through the first truck, blood and guts splashing my face. Cutting kids down, couldn't have been no older than 8. What the fuck is going on? Who we fighting and why? Killing kids, killing killers, who the fuck is supplying? I'm crying out for protection, but none of it came. So I dumped in all directions till the heater was drained. But that night vision shit wasn't helping us win. Caught around a friendly fire, but it wasn't so friendly, we simply got lucky. Headed back to the base, seen soldier rape a woman, shot her dead in the face. Guts stuck to my clothes, body parts galore. If this a peacekeeping mission, I ain't ready for war. And now I'm back home bitter and sick and contagious. And I'm knowing we some bullies, that's why everyone hates us. Still broke than a motherfucker, niggas is starving. And that job training shit is only good for the army. I guess I should've been a CO and kept up a file. Should've listened when my homie said we murder for oil. Now I'm fucking with this wheelchair, ain't nothing the same. And I'm knowing confrontation's more than video games, war is pain.
Front Street in Santa Cruz. Alright, everybody, have a happy fucking day.
Well, the cops didn't beat me today, hit me on the head. Well, the cops didn't kill me today for all the shit I said. And I got 32 minutes and 47 seconds of free speech and counting. I got pot from my food stamps today, now I can get high. I got pot from my food stamps today, now I can get by. Yeah, I stole from the government with a smile on my face. So have a happy fucking day, fucking happy day. Happy fucking happy, have a happy fucking day. Such a fucking happy day. Oh, stop him! He's getting happy. Well, for 10 years I had the cops come by to have a little discussion. Won't you know? Every day the same discussion, around and around we go. Where it stops, everybody within 3 blocks seems to know. He said, in America there's some things you cannot say. In America there's some things against the law to say. Other things, there's laws requiring you to say them in certain places in certain times when required by certain authority figures. Like you can't shout fire in a crowded theater. You can't shout fire in a crowded theater. You can't say you're going to kill the president. You can't say you're an Al-Qaeda operator. Oh, but there was another big one. Oh, what was it? Never say the word fuck on the radio. No, he said if you say the word fucking radio, it's like saying fucking public. And you can't say fucking public, goddammit. And if you was to fucking say the word fucking public just one more fucking time, I'm gonna give you a fucking citation for violating section 415 of the California Penal Code, which clearly reads, subsection 2, using language in public likely to provoke. Language in public likely to provoke a violent reaction. 415, subsection 2, disturbing the peace of something. So apparently the word fuck is likely to provoke a violent reaction. I said, you know, officer, I don't really feel violent when I say the word fuck. Sometimes it's a fluffy, happy thing. Sometimes it's a frothing, breathing thing. Well, sometimes it's a panty, grunty, sweaty, smelly experience. But you know, I still don't feel violent about it, even though when I'm all sticky in the morning, getting the hell out of there, I don't feel violent about it. So, you know, officer, I'm thinking that maybe you and me have a different conception of the word fuck. You know, maybe it's the way that you fuck. Maybe it's the way that I fuck, but you know, somebody seems to be getting it fucking wrong. Happy fucking day. So I was trying to think about the words restricted in our language. And then he cleared it up all for me. He said it like this. Well, the bottom line's the children, Phil. Bottom line's the children. Well, Phil, it's my job to protect the children from you and your foul mouth. You know how much damage you could cause the children if you would accidentally slip and say fuck in front of them. You could ruin them, make them unproductive members of society, unable to make their quota of bombs and missiles for the machine of destruction. You know, Phil, you could totally warp their concept of reality, blow their concept of consensus reality, and then, you know, pretty soon, the kids might think they can say fuck in school or something, and it'd be all your fault. And you'd feel really guilty, right? No, I wouldn't. Because I made me this little list. Because I had a kid, too, and I had to figure out what kind of words I'm going to say to her. So I made me this little list of the words that are okay to say in front of the children, the words you're supposed to say in front of the children, and the words we say to the children every fucking day on the TV set. Like bombs and missiles you can say in front of the children all day long. You can sell them bombs and missiles in their cereal boxes. No one seems to care. You can say, hey kids, we make the best damn bombs and missiles anywhere. You can say, kids, we're so proud to live in the USSA where our killing devices are the best the world has ever known. You know, everybody wants to get their hands on an American-made killing device, even one that's 30 or 40 years old, because even back then we did it better than common use, you know. Why, our cruise missiles, $3 billion, our cruise missiles can travel 500 miles for $3 billion, you do the math, it's a pretty good deal, landing with pinpoint accuracy upon your designated target of choice. There's a little camera in the front of it. You know, provided that your target of choice doesn't get in the middle of a baby milk factory, a hospital, a neighborhood, or, you know, a daycare center or something like that. As long as nothing gets in the way, our cruise missiles make it right to their target. God bless America! You can say, kids, you know, your grandparents slaved for many a year, putting all of their tax money away giving it all over to buy more mechanisms of mass destruction for this brilliant concept that has kept the world safe up till now. Yes, kids, it's called mutually assured destruction. I remember when I was taught mutually assured destruction in school. It was such a brilliant concept. Really, the only thing that's kept the Earth safe, except, not having nukes, that kind of stuff, goes like this. All right, now I'm the mythical bad guy far across the pond. I theoretically, hypothetically, hate you and want to take your freedom away. I don't know what I'm going to do with your freedom, but theoretically, hypothetically, I'm going to come get it. All right, now theoretically, hypothetically, me being the bad guy far across the pond, I've got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. Oh my God, he's got a gun. Oh, he's got a theoretical, hypothetical gun. Theoretically, hypothetically, pointing it at your head. Now there you are, standing there with a theoretical, hypothetical gun pointed at your theoretical, hypothetical head. History has shown there are only two choices. Do you pick up another theoretical, hypothetical gun, or don't you? That's the thing. All right, most people are going to pick up the theoretical, hypothetical gun, and since we can't play it live on the air, I'm going to assume that you would theoretically, hypothetically pick up your theoretical, hypothetical gun, point it at me, and nobody's going to shoot, because we'll kill each other, right? All right. Well, I forgot to tell you the rules of the game. You see, I'm America, caca. And I got a stockpile of theoretical, hypothetical guns. I got one in my back pocket, and I pull it out. Now I got two, count them, two theoretical, hypothetical guns for your one theoretical, hypothetical gun. Now, you've got an option to pull another theoretical, hypothetical gun. You can go ahead and pull that again. Then there we are, 2 for 2, pointing at each other. Nobody's going to shoot. Even though we can't shoot very well one-headed, nobody's going to shoot because we're both going to die. All right, but I'm America, remember. I still got a stockpile. So I go into my back pocket and I get me my backup theoretical, hypothetical gun. I got 3 guns, 2 hands, do the math. Oh, and on and on and on it goes. All right. Then theoretically, hypothetically, you and me need to go enslave all of our people. Take the majority of their money away and give them nothing for it except more and more theoretical, hypothetical guns. We're going to have more theoretical, hypothetical guns than we can ever shoot. Matter of fact, we'll hook them up on computers. And then the computers can shoot our theoretical, hypothetical guns in case one of us is dead. Mutually assured destruction, yeah. Well, there was a wise man that once said, the only way to win the game of mutually assured destruction, the only way to win the game of mutually assured destruction is not to play. Game over. Don't pick up the theoretical, hypothetical gun and have a happy fucking day. Have a happy fucking day. Fucking happy day. Happy fucking happy. Have a happy fucking day. Such a fucking happy day. Oh! Stop him! Stop him! He's getting psychotically happy. I gotta think of the kids. I'm a father and I gotta think of the kids growing up in this world. I gotta think of when I grew up in this world, when they first taught me the duck and cover drill. Anybody old enough to remember the duck and cover drill? They said, kids, when you see the nuclear blast, when you see the flash on the horizon, I want you to get under your desks, boys and girls. Get down in a kneeling position, stick your head between your legs, kiss your ass goodbye. You can't hide under your fucking desk. Have a happy fucking day, fucking happy day. Happy fucking happy, have I got a happy fucking day. Fucking happy day. Oh, let me tell you about a time when I was really happy. There was a time when we thought the Cold War had ended. We thought, it had gotten crazy enough, close enough to blowing the entire world up 300 million times. Oh, but now you just can't keep track of them. Some countries can't afford cruise missiles. They can't afford pinpoint accuracy. They gotta steal a plane, fly it themselves, blow up themselves in a car bomb or something, because they just don't have access to our weaponry. So I think we should sell the Palestinians cruise missiles. why not? We can make some money off it. We already sold them to the Israelis. I mean, we can't go back and undo that, so arm them all. Give everybody American bombs and missiles, then we can truly have mutually assured destruction. Maybe nobody will shoot at anybody. Because they know that their weapons are the best weapons. Made by a country that still can't make a toaster worth of shit. But we can blow up a lot of stuff. Have a happy fucking day. Fucking happy day. Happy fucking happy. Have a happy fucking day. It's a fucking happy day. Oh, I'm so motherfucking son of a bitch and goddamn cock licking.